outside of her apartment, and I got her the cake, and I had to walk it over here from the car. It's pretty beautiful. I'm gonna try to surprise her, unless she already knows I'm out here and she's watching me like I'm some kind of dumbass. But I gotta put these candles on. I thought you were already inside. I've been recording this whole time. There you go. It's a heavy bitch.
It is. I wasn't expecting it. I was like, oh, hold on.
Does it look pink to you though? It's pink, right?
It's pink and purple.
Okay, cool. Just checking. Because like when I got it, I wasn't sure.
Oh,
So it looks so white. And this is yours too.
Thank you.
It's not the plate, it's just because it's cold outside.
Aww.
Here, you need to get inside.
Yeah, let me open the door. Thank you.
You're welcome, baby.
I love you too.
Love you.
30.
Alright.
I'm 30. Not yet. I'm almost 30.
That's it.
That's it. That's
All
my
right.
birthday, huh? Thanks for watching.
Oh, can you get my Crocs underneath the bed?
Oh, yeah. Again? What is this? Keep your
You've been served.
divorce papers? No, we're not even married.
Is that what? You can get served for other things.
Yeah, I just figured that would be. I don't know.
So you think you're divorced?
Yeah. So you think you're divorced? Another surprise gift. What could it be? Is it a dog?
Don't shake it. Just kidding. Yeah, you can shake it.
Does there have something on here? Stop it.
Stop
I'm
what?
scared. It's a prank.
It's a cat.
You killed it.
How else would I give you a cat?
I don't know what. See what. This bag is so cute too.
Yeah, I didn't know it either, so.
What is this?
It's a gun.
Oh my god!
Just kidding.
I don't think I've ever seen this before. This is so cool. Oh my god.
And spoil her gift for her.
Oh, my eyes burn. Oh, my tears.
This is cool, right?
Yeah.
Dude, I kind of want one too.
Oh my god.
You're gonna have a lot of fun with that. I hope you
Yeah,
make a lot of videos of this.
because I didn't even, when I see those on the website, I don't even know what they do. Thank you.
Good job.
I'm so happy. Oh, hopefully the bag wasn't covering that. Okay, whatever that means.
Someone's turning 30.
I'm gonna be 30, flirty, and thriving.
Yeah, you are.
Say it back.
Say it. Say au revoir. There we go.
We're about to do it. It's my
Happy birthday to
We're
you.
still watching the movie.
Happy birthday.
Look at my grandma.
Happy. What's up?
Nothing.
Happy birthday,
Hey,
dear
hey,
Brenda. Happy birthday to you.
I'm having a hard time focusing. Yay, it's my birthday.
30, flirty, and thriving.
30, flirty, and thriving.
All right, so last clip, and I'm talking loudly just because I don't know if the audio picks up very well, especially when I'm on the freeway. But what was our last clip? Oh, last clip was Brenda getting her surprise birthday present. So yeah, that was really fun. But now we are heading off to see Maoli. We are about an hour out, so the doors open at 7 o'clock. It is 6:05, and we should be arriving in around 19 minutes, but we gotta find parking. We can't bring cameras in, unfortunately, or at least that's what they say, right? You can't bring any in. Yeah, so I think we can at most bring our phones in. I'll try to record some clips here and there. Then again, I don't know his hit songs, so I don't know when I should be pulling my phone out. But if I like what I hear, I'll start recording.
Or whenever I'm recording.
Exactly, yeah. I'll take that as a sign. But yeah, it's gonna be a fun weekend, and then back to just business. So see you there.
First time. It's so pretty out right now.
the aftermath. It was great. They played like some rock classics. I loved it. What just happened? Did I black out for a second? Yeah. Well, we're gonna head back to the car, right? So I think that's the end of today. I don't know if there's gonna be anything else in the vlog, but see you in the next clip. Bye. All right, a little bit of a plug update. So, as you guys can see, I have these two really cool posters. I call them really cool because I think they're cool, but they're not exactly panty droppers. Just kidding, I'm not gonna say that. I mean, at least I think they're pretty cool. This one is a Cowboy Bebop poster, and it's kind of in a different style than you would expect from a typical Cowboy Bebop poster. I'm forgetting the artist, but I'll credit them right here. But yeah, this one is something I bought through Mondo. Mondo, I really like their interpretations of posters because I love posters, but I really hate modern day posters because it's just like an onslaught of the actors' faces. It's like this collage of actors' faces, and I just kind of miss the art behind it. I kind of miss, like, I don't know, the poster telling you about what the movie is or the show is without really telling you. I just kind of miss that era of posters where there was a lot of artistry behind it, and every now and then there's a good poster that comes through, but I feel like, yeah, you don't just get, like a simple poster that just tells you just what you need about the movie, and it doesn't just tell you who's in the movie. So, I don't know, I like to get these posters in. I kind of want to do kind of just a big wall dedicated to posters and artwork that I like. And for now, I'm just kind of operating in this space in my home office / room, and kind of using this as a trial wall to see how it would work, because I kind of like that maximalist style. I really think that's really cool. But so far, I'm just kind of testing it with these three posters. So this is obviously my Batman poster, which I love, a screen printed one, and then there's this one that I showed you. And then right here is going to be the third poster that I just got, and I thought I'd share that process with you guys. So I already went through this. Is the new poster here, and this is the new frame. It's a 24x36, and right now I am prepping to put that poster into the frame and then seeing how it's going to go up on the wall. What could it possibly be? You know what I love is when you get a picture frame that is the exact same dimensions as the poster you bought, and it just isn't laying flat. That's what I love. That's what I love. So autofocus on this is trash, but I had to change the frame out. I did have a backup one, and this one is actually, I think, the one that I use for these two. So it was a little bit more expensive, but it does the job. So the backup frame I used, hoping maybe a cheaper alternative would do the job. Nope. It's worth paying that extra premium for a good frame. This is a good one. Comes with a cable and everything to put it up, and it's sturdy and very easy to put together. So, goddamn. I'll put the link in the description, but fuck you. In particular, it's under all that garbage. That is a bad frame. Alright, well, there it is. That took me a lot longer than I thought it would, but it's done. And I think I'm going to relax, read a book, and call it a day. Alright, how's it going, everyone? I'm about to go see Dune 2 all by myself, because that's something I used to do before COVID hit. A lot more often I would go to a movie by myself. I would go at an early show time, make sure there's not a lot of crowds, just so I could really appreciate the movie and make sure that I'm not getting a bunch of, I don't know, stupid people in the theater who are just spitting and taking a shit or whatever they do, bringing in their Panda Express, which I used to do that. But like, none of that distraction and bullshit, just going in and watching a movie with a handful of people. For God forbid, you know, one of them is a pervert and they just came there to jerk off. That's fine, you know. We all have our hobbies. But as long as they're, you know, staying away from me and not making any trouble for anyone else, and you know, are just doing that for fun. I mean, I assume everyone's bringing that Dune popcorn bucket and going to town on it, and that's fine, to each their own. I mean, how can you resist? Look at the thing. I'm going to see this movie because recently my friend told me that they've been reading Dune, and I was like, I didn't know anyone in my circle of friends was reading Dune, and I kind of gave up after chapter 2 because I was like, I think this is too much. But now that I've seen Dune Part 1, really did provide a lot more context, like visual context to everything that they're talking about. I know that a lot of the books, I think there's a certain edition of the book that has like a glossary of all the terms and all the lore and kind of definitions for all the words that are within the Dune universe, because Frank Herbert, he just kind of goes in and says, I'm not holding any fucking hands. You don't know what a Muad'Dib is? Too fucking bad. Like, he does not care. Like, and that's kind of awesome. It feels like a lived-in world and you're just thrown into it. But for a first-time reader of someone who's going into Dune without any like idea of what's going on, it is very daunting. So now that I know that my friend's reading it, it actually makes me want to read it more, and so I picked it up, and it's kind of a breeze now. Like, I understand the context of everything that's going on. I understand all the relationships between the characters. I know the definition of most terms. I mean, there's some things in terms of the geography of the world of Dune that I'm still a little bit like, I don't know, shrugging my shoulders to, but it's kind of like setting up things that are probably gonna show up in the future where they'll give more context, and I assume that's kind of what the book is doing. It's intriguing you, it's putting in things that are interesting enough to be like, I don't know what that is, but it's not exactly important now, but it will be in the future. So they really just, you know, Herbert just puts it in there for you to be like, okay, remember that, because it's gonna matter later, and I think that's really cool. But anyways, I'm actually really excited to see this movie. I love the first one. I recently rewatched it just because I was sick, and I was supposed to see the movie last week, but I couldn't come out because I tested positive for COVID. So I told my buddies I couldn't. So that's why I'm seeing it alone today. But really, honestly, like, I'm super excited because I'm hearing good things about this movie. I'm mostly excited actually for Austin Butler. I think he's one of my favorite actors coming up right now. I know he's had a pretty long career, and if you track his career back to the Disney Channel and stuff, you know, he's been working hard, but just kind of flexing how good he is in Elvis and showing how transformative of a performance that was, I think that's really impressive. And I just finished watching Priscilla with Brenda over the weekend, and I think that like, Jacob Elordi did a wonderful performance as Elvis, but it's a very different interpretation of Elvis. I think Austin went for the glitz and glamour and the real kind of like humanitarian side and loving side of Elvis that, you know, many people are familiar with. And I think Jacob Elordi went with like a very honest interpretation of how Elvis was behind closed doors, kind of the abuser and a manipulative gaslighter that he could potentially be. I don't know, but this is coming from Priscilla Presley, so I'm gonna say that it's a pretty honest interpretation. But I like both sides of that, and that's what I really think is really cool about both performances. And I think people are very quick to turn on Austin Butler just because he's still doing the Elvis voice now. But that doesn't take away from the fact that his performance was really good, like very transformative. I didn't see an ounce of Austin in there. All I saw was Elvis. So I'm really excited to see Fade Rotha in this. And Christopher Walken, I think, is a very interesting choice for the Emperor. I'm in the book right now. Nothing about the Emperor so far. He's only mentioned briefly, but I am excited to see what that's going to be like. It's kind of interesting too, now that I'm reading the book, I'm seeing these characters as they are presented in the movie. So when I'm seeing Duke Leto, I'm thinking of Oscar Isaac with a beard, even though he's not described having a beard in the books. And then I'm seeing Rebecca Ferguson and Timothée Chalamet and, you know, etc. as these characters, and I think it's interesting. So now that I'm going to be reading, you know, the book and getting into part 2 of Dune eventually, I'm probably going to be seeing Christopher Walken as the Emperor and Austin Butler as Fade Rotha, even though Fade Rotha is described having hair. So I'm really interested on the whole Voldemort take. But yeah, I can't wait to go watch this movie. I think I'm about 20 minutes away from the theater. So in the meantime, some catch up of what's happened since the last clip. So yeah, I put up that poster, beautiful looking poster. I'll put the artist, or probably reference the artist already, but I'll do it again here. A wonderful, wonderful artwork for Nope, a movie that honestly isn't, I don't know if it's my favorite Jordan Peele movie. I think it's my 3rd favorite out of the 3 that he's done, to be honest, but I think it's still really good. I just really love Get Out, and I honestly have a really soft spot for Us. I just think the atmosphere of Us is incredible. I do think there's a lot of just like, not even plot holes, but just open-ended questions in that movie that feel weird that they're open-ended, you know? But the thing is, I just like the vibe of that movie so much, so I forgive it a lot. But anyways, this is a review of Nope. I just want to say, so yeah, I put up that poster, and it was quite a bitch to put up, but it's up now, and it looks great. I do want to go for, like I said, the maximalist effect. I want to put up more artwork and references to movies and things that I love, because that's really my biggest interest and passion is for movies. So yeah, I can't wait to see how that wall looks eventually, and then, you know, in a new space someday, hopefully I'll have more wall space and I can really just kind of go crazy with that. So I'm excited about that. Yeah, and another thing, so you ever ate a lot? Have you ever eaten a lot of food, and then the next day when you got, oh, I forgot my coffee, I just realized, damn it. Anyways, yeah, have you ever realized that after, I'm going actually really slow right now, I'm going like 65, which is slow for everyone else. But anyways, so what was I saying? So have you ever eaten a lot of food, and then the next day, you know, you take a shit? I don't know how to say it nicer. I don't know, like expel your bowels, and you're like, something's not adding up. It's kind of like you showing up to a drug deal and you come up short with the money, and then the guy's like, you're coming up short. That's what it feels like. Like I put in the transaction, I know I deposited a lot of food into my mouth, and I'm asking to withdraw my money, aka poop, and I'm coming up a little short. I'm like, something's not adding up. I don't know if it's constipation, I don't know what's going on, but like this past week, for the past 3 days, I've been coming up a little bit short, and I don't know where it's all going, but it's got to come out somewhere, right? Like, I know for damn sure I put a lot more money in the bank than I'm withdrawing. It just, something's not adding up. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if it's a conspiracy or something, but thanks, Obama. You know what really pisses me off? I don't even know if it's the GoPro's fault, but I recorded pretty much a, I don't know, like 10-minute review. I was talking the entire time. I was saying exactly what I wanted to say about Dune 2, and I thought I hit it succinctly. None of it recorded, because apparently my camera just shuts off after 20 seconds. I looked it up. It might be a corrupt SD card. I'm kind of pissed off. I'm going to attempt to do it again, but I got to figure out what's going on with this SD card, so I'm going to switch cameras. All right. I'm kind of upset, like I said, because I recorded a full review, and I was so proud of how eloquently, for me, at least for my standards, I was able to get all my thoughts out. Aside from some things that I felt were a little bit spoilery, but yeah, I think now I'm just going to cut that out, and I'm just going to wrap this up real quick. I don't know if I can keep that level of enthusiasm that I had in the car, but that was one of my favorite film experiences, watching that in IMAX, or Limax as they call it, because it's not like the biggest screen, but it was definitely the biggest that's in my area, with the best sound quality, and with an audience that agrees with me that having 30 minutes of trailers is just too fucking much. Okay? You don't need to show 10 trailers back to back. Like, I know that they're trying to market, but God, it's really annoying. It is so annoying. It got to a point where at the beginning of the movie, there was a guy in front of me, and he was getting riled up. He was sick of it, and I was sick of it too. He was like, "Come on!" And every trailer that played, you'd see that green screen. I don't know what it's called, the MPAA thing, and we would just go, "Oh!" And there would just be a resounding sigh met across the entire audience. And as it kept going, more and more people started going, "Fuck you!" And like, not even to that guy, to the screen. And it was funny because we all, at the very end, at the very last trailer that showed up right before, we're all just livid, and it was great. It was that collective audience experience that you want, not the kind where there's someone being loud or on their phone or just talking out loud. Like, it was all a respectful audience of people who just wanted to see the movie. And one guy was just like, he's like, "Give me my spice," which is pretty funny. I got a laugh out of the crowd. And then when the movie started, he did a guttural moan. He was like, "Oh," because right when the movie starts, it like mentions spice. So he got what he wanted. Anyways, that aside, I really want to talk deep into this movie because it touches on things that I feel like I want to discuss it, but I'll keep that experience to myself, and hopefully you'll get that experience, and I want to keep it short. I was talking about Austin Butler in the movie. Before getting into the movie, actually, I was talking about my anticipation for Austin Butler, and he delivers one of my favorite deliciously evil performances that I've seen in a long time. I think that he should be in the movie more. I think that Austin Butler being teased for his Elvis voice still staying with him, I don't think it's relevant anymore, because this man has shown back to back what he can do. I haven't watched what do you call it, that show where he's a pilot or whatever. I haven't watched that. I don't know if he's good in that. I'm sure he's great. But this movie, another transformative performance where he completely embodies this character. His voice, I didn't want to spoil myself going into the movie, so I guess consider this a spoiler. So 3, 2, 1. His voice is very evocative of what Stellan Skarsgård is doing with his voice. And a lot of people thought he was going to be doing the Elvis voice for this character, which is a funny joke. But there's no way in hell, even though there were a couple moments where I was like, is there a little Elvis there? A little bit Elvis? But I think it was just my ears playing tricks on me. But he was so good in this movie. He plays a dark reflection of Paul Atreides, pretty much a mirror image of what Paul could become, and what Paul would be if he had bad parents. Luckily, he has pretty good parents, up to this point in the story, that is. There are some turns that these characters make that are, I'm pretty sure, are befitting of the book and follow that narrative. And there are going to be choices that are going to challenge the audience members who have grown to become accustomed with these characters and see them as heroic. And they're going to make choices that are not deemed as heroic. And I think following the structure of Dune, the novel, this movie has the challenge of telling that story in a way and making it feel complete and letting you hang on to that dramatic end that this movie has and build that anticipation for the next part, which I think might be the last part. I want to say Denis is going for a trilogy, and then he's going to be doing Dune Messiah, but I don't know. Maybe there's a fourth part. I haven't really read much on this because I didn't want to be spoiled, but it feels like this third part is going to be the conclusion to this story. And where it leaves you, it's troubling in the same way that Empire Strikes Back was troubling, in the same way that Avengers Infinity War is troubling, and that is a lot of people's favorite movie. But at the time, or also Across the Spider-Verse, these are movies that I believe in their time were divisive because people felt like they needed to leave this movie with a pep in their step and feeling hope. This, I believe, is not that kind of movie, though, in a way where you are anticipating where it's going to go. You have an idea of weariness and also unease because of our character, who's sort of the heart of this film, which is Chani, played by Zendaya wonderfully. She did a wonderful job. I think this is one of her stronger performances. But because of her unease and the development and choices that Paul makes in this film, played wonderfully also by Timothy, you are conflicted about this journey, and that is kind of the element that we are being led into, which is this journey of what decisions is Paul going to make. The people that follow him, these religious zealots almost to a degree, or these followers, is he leading them on the righteous path like he thinks he is, or is he leading them into doom? And that's not Dune, doom. And that's the question that's on everyone's mind going into this, unless you read the book, of course, which I am right now, but I'm not that far. But I'm super excited to see that I'm going to get to this point in the story, and I'm going to see how Frank Herbert himself wrote it. I think that's really exciting. But yeah, I think this has the benefit of having a complete story and people knowing that this is leading up into something pretty grand. Across the Spider-Verse, I don't think gets that. Because it's based, I think it's based solely on an original story. Dune is based on text that exists. Star Wars didn't have that as well. It had to completely create a new story out of Return of the Jedi, leading outside of Empire Strikes Back. So that didn't have that benefit either. Infinity War also didn't have that benefit of having. It did have a bunch of comics to reference, but we didn't really know exactly where it was going to go into Endgame. So I think this movie has a lot of good graces behind it, but I think it ends in a way that is very satisfying. It ends on a cliffhanger, again, a much heavier one than Dune Part 1 did, but it makes a lot of the experience of watching Dune Part 1 feel a lot more fulfilling, because a lot of those visions that Paul sees come into fruition in a way where you don't know if it's exactly one-to-one for his vision, but it's close enough where you're like, oh, okay, maybe there is a chance that what he's seeing could happen. But there is a shadow of a doubt on that cast over this movie, and there is tension from that is felt throughout the entire thing. And it's very, very fun to watch this what do you call it? This ascension of Paul, and watch his journey. I will say the character of Paul, sorry for banging my camera, I will say the character of Paul is one that he's not exactly 2 or 3 dimensional in the way that you expect most protagonists to be. I believe in the book also he's very cold, calculated, intelligent, and very loyal to his family as well as the people that he leads. But out of that, you're not getting a lot of dense personality. You're not going to be getting a wisecracking protagonist who tells jokes all the time, something like that. That's not the kind of character Paul is supposed to be, and I think that works. I think a lot of people might go into this movie expecting that from an epic film like this. They're like, well, where's the comedic relief? And I think the comedic relief really comes from Stilgar, played by Javier Bardem, but not really. It's not like slapping your knee kind of funny. This movie is a war epic drama. That is what it is, and it being sci-fi is just icing on the cake. But yeah, Paul is a very complex character that you want to watch his ascension. You want to watch what happens to him and to the people around him that are following him. But that's what makes the stakes even greater, is that this promise of restoring Arrakis to the Fremen people, that weight of it is felt through this film, and you hope to God that Paul is leading them on the right path, on the righteous path. But at the same time, it's clouded by politics, by the Bene Gesserit, and by this prophecy, and I think that's so compelling. And you can see the roots of all your favorite sci-fi franchises like Star Wars or Star Trek, and maybe something else that you might have watched recently. Maybe Rebel Moon. I don't know. I didn't watch that piece of crap. Sorry. I didn't watch that, so I don't know. But you can see elements of all of these things that they pulled inspiration from Frank Herbert's novels. And this movie doesn't stray away from going into the weird territories. The Harkonnen are fucking weird. They're just weird. And I think that's what makes Austin Butler's character stand out so much more, is that out of all the Harkonnen, who are just these despicable, awful dictators and just awful violent fueled. There were people that built their foundation on violence and oppression, and out of all of that, you get Austin Butler's Fade Rotha, and he's the worst of them all. He's the one that makes them cringe, and I think that's super interesting, and I just wish we got more. God damn. I think his performance works for me. I don't know what everyone else thinks about it, but I really liked it. Florence Pugh is also in this as Princess Cerula? I don't know. I don't even remember if they say her name outright, but she's the princess. She is the daughter of the emperor. She's very great in it. She doesn't have a lot to do, but you can see that her presence is definitely going to be felt in the next film. And I guess I'll just kind of wrap this up. I already praised Timothy. He was great in this. You really feel his presence come through. You really feel like he's becoming this duke. He's becoming this king. He's definitely becoming their leader. Is he becoming a good one? We don't know. Rebecca Ferguson is incredible. Her heel turn sort of in this movie as she makes from someone who is doubtful of the Bene Gesserit to just a full-blown like religious figure and I guess zealot to a point, right? Is really well done. She's so masterful of just the language of Dune that's in this, and like I don't know, it just feels like she's just speaking so naturally. I'd say with all the characters actually, when they're speaking their alien language, alien to us, it's so well done. You don't feel like anyone's struggling to get through their lines. It feels so natural. Even Timothée is killing it. But yeah, I think that gets everyone out of the way. Javier Bardem is obviously incredible as Stilgar, and Josh Brolin is really good in this movie as well. Everyone's doing a great job. I'd say the one performance that sort of sticks out like a sore thumb is Christopher Walken, who sort of looks like he walked onto set. Someone threw a robe on him and then said, "Just read the cue cards over there." Denny's holding them up. You got it, stud. So imagine saying that to Christopher Walken. Like, the thing with Christopher Walken is the man has a presence. He's just a person you're drawn to because you know it's Christopher Walken. And I think a lot of the good graces of that kind of wears off immediately once he starts talking, and you're like, oh, he's really just Christopher Walkening it up. But he's not like hamishly evil anyways. He really feels like you can really feel his age in the role, and I don't know if that's what the Emperor's supposed to be because I haven't gotten that far into the book. I don't know if he's supposed to seem like someone who is lost in a retirement home, but it really feels like we're watching and visiting Grandpa at his retirement home. Unfortunately, that's kind of the performance I'm getting from him, and I'm not shaming him for his age or anything like that. I don't know if that's how he's supposed to be. He played a character that I guess reminds me a lot of his character in Seven Psychopaths, but not really. That performance where he's just kind of like idly going through the story and things are just happening around him and he's just sort of neutral. That I feel like of this character, like things are just sort of happening around him, but he's the emperor. Like he's this evil emperor who I guess has like somewhat of a heart, because of his ties to Duke Leto and things like that, and how he actually felt like compassion and empathy for the bad things he's done. But he thought it was for the greater good, for himself. So he's not a great guy, actually. But outside of him just saying those things, I don't really feel it. It really just feels like he is lost in this movie, and I don't know if that's the intention or not. But it's Christopher Walken. Like I'm not gonna say like if this is his last role, but it really feels like this might be one of his last roles. I feel like he's getting up there in age. If this is one of his last roles, I feel like he definitely should step it up in the next movie and bring it back home, because I don't want this to be like one of his last performances, because it's just kind of bland, unfortunately. But yeah, I think that's it for this movie. I loved this movie. I could talk about this for hours. The things that this movie does, like the turns that certain characters make, it's just so crazy. I think that might be jarring to some people, that some of these characters change almost on the flip of a coin, pretty much. But in this story, it makes sense as to why. But it might be a little bit jarring while you're watching it. That's not even a gripe. That's not even like a bad thing about this movie. It's just baked into the story, and you just have to accept that. And that's kind of like the whiplash you get a little bit. But for the story and for what's happening, like the science behind everything, that's just what you have to accept. And that's actually the whiplash that happens to the characters around them. They just have to accept this new status quo, and it's kind of great. And that's what the lead up into the third movie is, and I think it's going to be exciting. So, like I said in the last video I recorded, this is it for this PLOG. I think this might be a little bit later because things got a little bit busy this week. But I hope you guys enjoyed. Did you see Dune 2? What did you think? Let me know. And yeah, thanks for watching. I'll see you later. Bye.